Hello, welcome to Attention Ginge. Now today's another video where I'm continuing with the pond build. Now I've made quite a lot of progress with this. I've finally managed to get all the supports in, all the other little supports in, got it all screwed together, and I did, let me just show you the corners quick. I also added these corner pieces in. So before it was just this piece and this piece here, and I was a bit worried because a lot of the pressure is going to be sort of up and down here. The main, I think when with this, the pressure on the water, the main part is going to be on the corners and on like the middle section of these beams. That's where I think the most amount of pressure is going to be. They're the sort of weak fail points, if that makes sense. So this is obviously going to bow a little bit. You think them corners are just screwed together. So I think that's where the majority of the pressure will be. So what I did is I haven't done it in that corner over there just because I can't get inside that corner without taking everything off and it's all glued. So I'm not worried about that too much because those two beams there have got this wall and that wall support. And this wall is just a stud wall. This is a brick wall. I'm pretty sure that's fairly solid, but if it's not, it's not. But this is actually bolted into the floor as well at the bottom, so, and then it's built to the structure of the roof, so that should all be pretty solid. But these three corners I could get to, so I've just put a piece of wood in like this, and what I've done is I've screwed this way and I've screwed that way. So this way, this corner piece has got maximum strength now. It's got this bit joining these two bits, and this bit is also screwed to this bit. And then don't forget, there'll also be a beam that goes across this join here all the way along, and that'll be another structure bit holding all that together. So as you can see, I'm trying to make it as bomb proof as possible, as I keep saying. So I've made a little bit of progress. I haven't filmed some of it just because it is the same old stuff. So I finally got this wall in. You can see all the little support beams there, that's all up. They all went in perfect. And you can see I've started doing the sheet walling for this as well. So I have got the floor in already. As you can see, this was before like one panel was here, there was a join there, and that was just the normal flooring. So I have got the floor piece in. As you can see, I didn't do a too bad job. There's actually hardly, you can see there's a little bit of a gap, but obviously getting that perfect and trying to get it to fit in would be a nightmare. But as you can see, it's a bit dodgy cutting there. I've cut this by hand, so don't judge it, but yeah, you can see it's a little bit dodgy there, but it is all pretty much snug. So this floor piece was a pain in the arse to get in because this whole base isn't perfectly rectangular. So a dimension from this corner to this corner is different from that corner to that corner, this corner to that corner, that corner to corner. It's all different. When it comes up to the top pieces, this is all pretty square up, to be honest. I didn't have to do any measurements of that. The bottom here is exactly the same as the top there, maybe like 2 or 3 mil out max, but I'm not too worried about that. So that was pretty easy to cut. I just had to cut one piece off, so that slots straight in. And now what I'm going to do is, because obviously this floor isn't level, it's a bit wibbly wobbly, rather than measuring from there to there and then from there to there and then drawing a line across, all I'm going to do is I'm going to place this wood up against that railing, put a pen on the other side, and I'm just going to draw along the top there, and hopefully that should give me a nice flush edge for that to go against this top rail. Once that's done, what I'm going to do is, this is going to have like a million screws. So with this floor as well, there's quite a few screws. I don't know how many screws I've used. How many beams are there? So basically with this, I wanted this to be screwed down with like every sort of 30, 40, I don't know how much it is, however distance is between them, but this is absolutely rock solid, screws down to the floor, because I want this to be as secure as possible so this can't move. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so there's 8 beams along here, and then there's 5 beams on there. So I've got 40 odd screws holding this floor down. Basically I did it one for each stud in each corner. So you imagine there's from this stud here, there's a line of screws along there, same with this one, and then there's a line of screws from this stud all the way along. So it's almost like a square pattern, so it sort of goes a screw here, screw there, screw there, screw there, and that's throughout the whole thing. So I know the floor is absolutely bulletproof. It shouldn't shift. It might shift a little bit just because I don't know about the structure underneath this floor. The wood might have warped a little bit and stuff, but the weight of the water should push that down, and I'm not worried about the floor being a failure point anyway because I know that is solid underneath. So that's that, and then I'm probably going to do the same for this piece of wood. So I'll mark out where all the upright individual struts are, So there'll be tons of screws going up and down this way, and then these little studdy bits here, I'm going to try and guess where they are on each of these and pop some screws in there as well. Yeah, I don't know how great that's going to be, but I'll try my best. And I don't know if it will make a difference, but I'm also going to be putting a bead of glue on all these beams. So all of that is going to be completely glued in place. Push the board up, screw it down as well. And yeah, that extra layer of glue hopefully will just add another bit of structural support to it. And I'll glue all these side panels all out here, this side panel down there. It's all going to be glued down. And yeah, hopefully that'll just make it as strong as possible. So I'm not going to record any of it, I'm just going to get this done, put it in place, because it is boring watching me cut, drill holes and screw in. This is what it is. I might get this panel done and then get this panel done on this side, because I want to get these two panels done first, and then I'll get the two end panels in after. I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, I'm going to do this on this one, show you that, and then I'll work on these side bits. That was a lot of drilling I've just done. So you can see all the screws sticking out. There are a lot of them. I'll tell you what, I'll do a little competition here. If you can count how many screws there are and you get it right, send me a DM on Instagram, and whoever gets it right or gets the closest, I'll give you something. I don't know what yet. Maybe some stickers or maybe something that's 3D printed. But if you can count how many screws there are that I'm about to put in that are sticking out of the wood, send me a DM on Instagram. Don't do it on YouTube, because there are people that will cheat and copy your art. So yeah, send me a DM on Instagram, and yeah, closest person or the closest people will win something. And that's finally all screwed in. That took forever, but this thing is solid. I was tapping everything just to make sure there's no looseness, no rattles or anything, and this thing is just, it is solid, not going anywhere. So I think once this is glued as well, that's just going to help bond this to the framework. That's going to secure it. I keep saying it, I just want it to be, I don't want it to leak. If it leaks, I don't mind, I can fix the leak. I just don't want this whole thing to just go and flood everywhere. So yeah, we are getting there slowly. The floor's nice and solid. The floor isn't out, there's a tiny little bit of a gap there. There's like a little archway bit under there, but I'm not worried about that, that'll be fine. I think I've mentioned these are the foam mats I'm going to be using, and that's going to line the inside of this as well, so that's going to hopefully provide as much cushion as I need for this water pushing out. It should insulate the pond a little bit more as well. Not that it needs insulating, because this room is 82 degrees Fahrenheit pretty much all year round, so it doesn't really matter about the heat so much. And because the filtration is going to be out in this part of my garage, there's no insulation out there. This is literally like whatever the weather is outside, the weather is in here. I do want to try and insulate the doors a little bit if I can, just to keep some of the heat in, but to be honest, I think that water going out and being a little bit cooler, the fish might actually like that, so the water will be pumped back in. I'm not going to put any heaters or anything out there in that sump area. That's just going to be heated by this pond. I might have to keep an eye on it, because if the water in here starts to drop below a certain temperature, I may need to heat that somehow. But I'm hoping as the water comes in, this water in here will just warm it up, because it's not going to be a heavy flow. I want that to be a slow flow through there. So the water that's going to be in the sump outside is going to have as much time as it can to get all the nutrients and everything absorbed and filtered out and stuff before it comes back in. And I think that little jet of cool water coming in, the fish might actually like. So if the water does get a little bit too warm, then that cool jet of water coming in, they can swim in that and stuff, and yeah, that should sort of make them a little bit more comfortable if they need it. So this wall's done. Like I said, I'm going to work on the opposite wall now. As I said in the previous video, this wall is not the same as this wall. These walls are completely different measurements, so I can't just copy and paste that over to there. Basically, I've got to remeasure all this and get it all done. But it should be pretty simple, because I'm hoping this upright and this upright are perfectly level, which I think they are. So it'll be a case of just measuring the bottom, measuring the top. They should be the same length, and then just slotting that wood in. And like I did with this piece over here, draw a line along this banister, cut along there, and that should hopefully just slot in place and be perfect. And here we go, we are slowly getting there. It's been an absolute nightmare getting these things. You see, I've got the 3 panels here on, floor's all nice and sturdy now. The only panel I've got to do now is that back panel. I wanted to leave, I don't know why I've left that till last, I just have, to be honest. No, I do know why, because when I was putting this panel in, Obviously these sheets are 2.4 meters long, so I knew I only needed one panel to do both sides of this. So what I did is I did this side first, and instead of having to measure all the awkward things and try, this is one of the problems I've got as well, this rack, rather than having to get behind all that and measure it, I thought I'll do this, and then the other piece, obviously it's almost in half, I literally just slot down there, pushed it up against the wall and the floor, drew a line along there, drew a line along here, and those are my cut lines, so that was easier to put in. So yeah, this one's going to be a pain in the arse like these other two, but yeah, something to do for tomorrow. Now the problem you can see is where I've got all my snake cracks here, yeah, I can't secure this board in place because I'd have to pull this rack out, so this is just going to stay like this until I get my other aluminium racks built like this. So I'm still waiting to get these done. I'm putting them off because it's cold now. I don't really want to do them in the cold, but I will have to do them at some point so I can get rid of this ugly thing. So yeah, I can't screw this down. This is just going to be loose. It's not a bad thing, which means it's something I have to do further down the road, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. This isn't going to do much. I could probably try and squeeze get the drawers out and squeeze in between there and do it, but it's too much hassle. It's just not worth it. So yeah, this is how we are looking. This is incredible. Now that I've started getting all the sides on and things like that, it's all sort of coming to light a little bit. Let me try and get a high up view of it. I don't know how much that you're going to be able to see because the camera's at a dodgy angle, but yeah, so I'm in the corner and you can see there's all that to go. So yeah, now that I've got all this going, it does sort of bring it to life a little bit more and makes me realise how big this actually is. Yeah, I'm stood in the corner, sort of don't look at my feet, but yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with all the cuts and stuff. You think there's a little bit of a gap there while slightly out, but you can see on this side it's absolutely pretty much bang on perfect apart from my dodgy cutting, but I am cutting this in the dark. So yeah, the floor there, I think I mentioned that little bit there is raised up by about 3 mil, but all of that is flush. All of this side is all flush, and yeah, we are slowly getting there. So this outside panel here, I'm pretty much going to do like I did with the end panel. So I'm just going to bring the whole sheet of wood in, prop it up against that wall along the floor, make sure there's nothing in the way, and then just draw a line along here, draw a line down there, make sure it comes up to this so it's flush, and yeah, that's going to be that outside panel. So the hardest part about that is just getting it in and out basically, but once that's cut, that'll be one solid piece going on, and then yeah, this piece is going to be a little bit more awkward. Securing wise, I'm not going to glue this side, I'm not going to glue that side, because remember that plug socket is right there. I do need to get that moved at some point, so this will be able to come off. I'll be able to take that off, let the electrician do what he's got to do, and then I'll glue them in place. This one is glued in and this one is glued in now, so they're all fixed, set permanently. They're not going to move, they're stuck, so it is what it is. If there's anything I've done wrong, it's too late. So yeah, I'm going to call it a night there. Been working on this for probably 4 days solid now. It's been a long slog, but it is worth it. I do enjoy these little projects. Well, I wouldn't say little, this is probably I wouldn't say this is my biggest project. I think my aluminium racks are probably my biggest project, just because there's a lot more that goes into that, but this probably is well up there. So yeah, I am enjoying it. It is hard work, but that solid, it is not going anywhere, thank God. So yeah, I'm going to leave it for tonight. I'm going to pack up because it is pitch black outside. It's probably about 5:30, 5:45 now, so yeah, there's no point working that late, but this is where we are at. So I'm going to leave it there. I know the video yesterday, well not yesterday, well it feels like yesterday for me, but the video I've done before this one, I know it was quite a long one. I didn't mean for it to be that long, but there was just too much I wanted to put in there basically. So I'm going to end this, so this is going to be part 2. So it's going to be a part 3, that's probably going to be about 10 parts, so this is going to be a nightmare. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. So I hope you enjoyed this little build. Hope you like following the steps that I've done, things like that. I think I said in the previous one, if there's anything you think that I could have done differently or I should do while I'm at this stage, let me know. It might be too late, but I might be able to do something to sort of change it. But yeah, we're slowly getting there. It's slowly setting in of how big this is going to be, and I'm just so excited for the stuff we're going to put in here. So eels, stingrays, big groupers. Yeah, it's going to be cool, and it's making me even more excited because once this is all done, then the big 2,000 or 1,000 litre, whatever it is, tank up here is going to be done as well. So yeah, that's pushing me forward to get this done even quicker. So as always, thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.